Hey guys, and welcome back. This is Surge with another StarMade video. So we're gonna do something a little bit different right now. We're just gonna make a short video, sort of a demonstration, if you will, of the new Breakers turrets. So we're gonna show off all the turrets. I'm gonna quickly go through what turrets it has and what they're designed to do. And yeah, we're gonna be able to watch this thing in combat against a bunch of Isnths, or Isnths, or however you want to pronounce them. The ship's default pirate ships. The reason I'm using them is because they are the current pirate ships and they're not too dangerous. Right now this is mostly a shell and I don't want to do any damage to it just for sheer convenience. So we're going to load them in a moment, but let me quickly go over what turrets I have on this thing. So right in front of us here we have this little baby AMT, anti-missile turret, which is pretty simple. Just scatter fires 2 arrays of cannons at any missiles that come my way, and I've got, I think, roughly 36 of them. That might be a bit more. I think that's about it. I think about 36 of those guys. I'll have to double count, and I might do that later. I'm going to put the turrets and their descriptions and how many I've got of them all in the description below. So if I'm wrong, let me know, because I will find out. Right here we got a little guy, where it looks little. Realistically, it's deep inside the hull right here, at least not very deep, but deep enough. And it's a couple missiles. So you could probably have told that because it looks like there's a couple missiles loaded in and ready to go. And its primary purpose is, as stated, it's a little missile turret. It's primarily designed to take out fighters or smaller ships that get a bit close. Not sure how useful it is, but that's what these tests are for. So we're going to use that shortly. Over here we have the ARC turret, the ARC, or the Atlas Repeater Cannon, which is something that both Shaker and myself worked on. He did the systems, I did the shell, and yep, it's quite a beefy turret that does a considerable amount of damage. It's got almost 100, I think it is actually 100% overdrive, and it does 2 shots. Per shot, so it does quite a bit of damage, and I've got 4 of those strapped to this ship. 1, 2, 3, 4 right there, and those are designed to take out other bigger vessels. They're effectively the main cannons on the ship, although this is just the upper half of the ship. So underneath, on the undercarriage, we're going to look at some other turrets. Now the undercarriage is considerably different. I've got 2 very unique turrets down here and a bunch of smaller not so unique turrets. So this guy here is a little shredder. This is the shredder turret. It is simply a bit of a Gatling gun, which is effectively designed simply to take out ships as they fly past its vicinity. It's effectively just an anti-fighter gun, strapped to the bottom purely for the sake that it looks pretty awesome. Over here we have some more AMT, and without getting to the big one first, we're going to look at this little guy. This little guy is the bub turret. It's purely there. It's just a little bub that effectively straps on wherever it needs to go, and it's there to simply act as a distraction, act as a nuisance. It sprays a much more powerful spray of cannon fire than obviously the AMT provides. But it targets anything, and it's designed just to keep the pressure on ships that are flying past, especially fighters. And this big guy down the bottom here is the Atlas triple-barreled missile mega gun of doom. I don't have a name for it yet. Leave in the comments what you reckon I should name it. And it is effectively just a little, I mean a big gun that straps onto the bottom. It almost looks like it's part of the ship, like some sort of like bottom part of the ship, but realistically it is a big effing turret. It's got 3 missiles. Needs to have some system updates, which I've got some plans to do that with Shaker a little bit later. But it's on the lowest priority of things I gotta do. So realistically, it's just there. It has a full 360 degrees, and right now it is self-powered. Fires out 3 lock-on missiles that do a considerable amount of damage, as you would expect for something its size. And yeah, that's it. That's all the turrets I have on this thing. I've got some more AMT turrets hanging on the underneath there, which are got the black shell there. And over here you've got another bub turret just on the back here. So yeah, that's it. I got those turrets all around the place. I've only got 1 of each of those 2 turrets on the bottom there. I got, I think, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bub turrets, 6 bub turrets on this thing. And yep, that's it. We're going to go ahead and we're going to load in a bunch of AI ships right now, and we're going to see how this thing goes. So let me just turn the HUD back on. And we're going to go to the catalog here, and we're going to admin load. And the ones we're going to spawn in, I've prepared this batch earlier. We got 2 beam Izants, we got 2 beam cannon Izants, we got 2 cannon beam Izants, and we got 2 cannon Izants. And we got 5 missile beam Izants as well, because that is going to be testing our AMT anti-missile turrets. And obviously, we've picked the beam options of most of these, mostly so that we got the range to test out the range on a lot of these guns. Because we want to be able to test how good it goes against ships that are off in the distance trying to hit us from afar. So we're going to load those in just a second, but before I do, I'm going to turn off my mic. We're going to turn on some music. I'm going to turn it up, and we're going to have just a bit of silence, but with some nice music while we do this. And, yep. Also, I'm going to show off my thrusters because I forgot to do that in my last video. So I'm sorry, guys. I mentioned I was, but if you also watched the video, you would know that it wasn't a lot of thinking going on. So we will go ahead and do that now, guys. Let's do that.